Evan from Stock Music Musician. Today I have a very simple lesson on where my music licensing revenue has come from over the past few years. I think this is really interesting to know just how am I getting paid? Where does the money come from? Well, we're going to look at a chart in a minute and I'll break it all down. But first, I want you to leave any comments down below, any questions you have about licensing your music. And I also am interested if your breakdown has been different from mine, if you're actively selling, or if you'd be more interested in focusing on one area or another. And I can tell you more about each of these different types of royalties as we get into them. So if you just leave the comments below, I'll be sure to respond to them, and it'll help me know what type of videos to make for you in the future. The second thing I want to say is if you want to learn how to license your music, I'll put a link down below to my free 5-day course. It'll teach you everything you need to know to get started and to jump off to a great first start with your music licensing. So let's look at my chart here. This is basically, I earned about $10,000 licensing music from 2015 to 2018. And this is how it breaks down. About 69% of that was from sync fees, 22% was from backend royalties, 8% was from buyout fees, and 1% was from some sort of miscellaneous monies that I would find lying around. So what are these different types of royalties? Well, sync fees are a fee that somebody pays to license your music, generally upfront. So let's say you're making a YouTube video and you need some music. So you go to a site like Audio Jungle or Pond 5. You look for the type of song you want. You purchase it. Audio Jungle keeps their half, and they send half to you. That's a sync fee. This happens also with higher quality libraries. So the sync fee can kind of be thought of as the upfront fee. That is the majority of my earnings, and you see that 69% there of sync fees. Probably of the portion of sync fees that I get, probably I'd say 90% of those sync fees came from selling my music on Pond 5. I've been on other sites and I've made sales, but most of my focus and most of my success has been on Pond 5. So then let's turn to the next biggest chunk, back-end royalties or performance royalties. Well, what are those? If your song is purchased, a sync license is purchased, and then your song is placed on a TV show, for example, or some other use that generates a performance royalty, and you are registered with a performing rights organization like BMI or ASCAP in the United States, and you have registered your songs with them, then you are owed a performance royalty every time your song is broadcast. So this is basically royalties on royalties. Look at it this way, right? Somebody went to Pond 5, purchased my song, or purchased the license of my song for like $35, $40, easier math. So I get a check for $20 for my upfront sync fees. They then put it on a TV show, which airs, let's say once a quarter because it's on syndication. Well, every time it airs on TV, I get a back-end royalty for $5, let's say. So this can really add up quickly if the TV show or other use of your song is very popular. And so that's a way of leveraging your catalog to make more money. And it's a really important revenue stream that I teach you about in my music licensing course. It's very essential that you figure out how to do it and be sure to get all those royalties, because that has been thousands of dollars for me. The next chunk, and also I'll say, of those back-end royalties, probably 95% of those have been from one song, really one placement using my song, just repeatedly. So the next chunk is buyout fees. So on Pond 5, you're entering into a non-exclusive relationship with Pond 5's library. And you can pull your music out at any time. You can leave it if you want. They don't owe you anything. You don't owe them anything. And they don't pay you anything up front to join their library as a result. But other types of libraries want exclusive representation of your songs. And so they know that when they're pitching their catalog to people. Buyers know that they're not going to find these songs anywhere else, and so they have to buy it from these libraries. And in exchange for doing this, in exchange for giving them the exclusive right to license your song, they have to pay you a buyout fee. Sometimes it's very nominal, $25, $50, but sometimes it's a few $100. Maybe it could even be up to $1,000. And so these fees are paid upfront when you submit your songs to the library and the library accepts them. Like I said, towards the end of 2017, I joined an exclusive library, and my share of that was probably like $700 or $800 for the songs that I contributed. I've also put other songs and probably another half dozen songs in exclusive libraries for less money, $25, $50. And so that's where that revenue stream is. The final bit, miscellaneous, is just that. Sometimes a little bit of money from streaming royalties. On the website Audio Sparks, they've got sort of this overhead radio program. Similarly with Song Trader, they have an overhead radio program, which basically means you're giving them a license to broadcast. Broadcast isn't the right word here because they're not generating broadcast royalties, but they're being performed in like department stores or restaurants or something like that. And so, I've probably made $100 doing that. Not a ton of money, but it's a few coffees. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned a little bit about the whole music industry and where you can be making your money with music licensing. I hope you visit my course and figure out how you can start making your music work for you. And please let me know if you've got any questions. And if you want to learn more, subscribe so I can keep teaching you. Bye-bye.